Harry Potter is a series of excellent fantasy novels that were later developed into astounding movies as well. I personally love the films. The awe and charm that the first movie created was something unbelievable, and I still remember seeing it in theaters and how amazingly captivated the entire audience was. The first film paved the path for a magical franchise, one that took me on an incredible adventure. And I wanted to look back on the story and give a brief plot breakdown of all 8 films. So go ahead and put on your dragon hide gloves, get that Firebolt broom ready, and prepare your best spells. Because we're heading out on one enchanted ride across a fantastic world of magic and beasts. Now the tale centers on the lives of a young wizard, Harry Potter, and his friends, Hermione Granger and Ron Weasley, all of whom are students at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Now the main story arc contains is Harry's conflict with Lord Voldemort, a dark wizard who intends to become immortal, take over the wizard governing body known as the Ministry of Magic, and subdue all wizards and muggles who are non-magical people to his tyrannical rule. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, 2001. In the first film, we are introduced to Harry, who is an orphan boy brought up by his muggle aunt and uncle, the Dursleys. At the age of 11, Harry discovers that he is a wizard after meeting a half-giant named Rubeus Hagrid, who invites him to attend Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. On his way to school, Harry learns that as a baby, his parents were murdered by the dark wizard Lord Voldemort. And when he tried to kill Harry as well, his spell rebounded, reducing him to a weak and helpless form, while Harry survived with a scar on his forehead. As a result, Harry rose to fame practically overnight in the wizarding world as the boy who lived. He becomes a student at Hogwarts and is sorted to the House of Gryffindor, one of the 4 houses students are sorted into during their first year. He befriends Ron Weasley, a member of a large wizarding family, and Hermione Granger, a witch of Muggle parentage, as they study magic and wizardry together. Harry encounters different individuals throughout his first year, those that will continue to play pivotal roles during the entire story, like the seemingly cold potions master Severus Snape, or the arrogant student Draco Malfoy, and the defense against the dark arts teacher Quirinus Quirrell, who turns out to be allied with Lord Voldemort himself. The film ends with Harry's confrontation with Voldemort, who is in his quest to regain a body, desires the power of the Philosopher's Stone, an artifact that it can be used to create an elixir that grants immortality. Harry defeats Quirrell, who was the host of Voldemort, and after his recovery, heads back home. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, 2002. Harry, Ron, and Hermione return to Hogwarts for their second year, which proves to be a lot more challenging than the last. Students whose parents are muggles are attacked and petrified by an unknown creature. The attacks appear related to the Chamber of Secrets, a 50-year-old mystery at the heart of the school. Harry learns that he can speak Parseltongue, a language that allows one to speak with snakes, which he finds out is actually quite rare and associated with the dark arts. This revelation has students believing Harry was the one who opened the chamber, and thus alienating him from others. Now when Hermione is attacked, Harry and Ron investigate further to reveal the chamber's secrets to enter it. Harry realized that the chamber was opened by Ron's younger sister, Ginny Weasley, who was possessed by an old diary in her belongings. The memory of Tom Marvolo Riddle, Voldemort's younger self, resided within the diary and unleashed the basilisk, an ancient beast that kills those who make direct eye contact with it. Now after a difficult battle, Harry slays the basilisk with the sword of Gryffindor, and then destroys the diary to end the memory and presence of Tom once and for all. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, 2004. Harry's third year sees the boy wizard, along with his friends, learn that he is targeted by Sirius Black, an escaped convict who allegedly assisted in his parents' murder. As Harry struggles with his reaction to the Dementors, which are creatures that feed on despair, that now guard the school due to Black escaping Azkaban, he reaches out to Remus Lupin, a new professor who teaches him about the Patronus charm. As the year goes on, Harry, Hermione, and Ron are dragged into the very center of it all, meeting Sirius Black in the Shrieking Shack. Lupin enters the shack and explains that Black was James Potter's best friend, and that he was framed by another friend of the Potters who betrayed them, Peter Pettigrew, who now hides as Ron's pet rat, Scabbers. As they all leave the shack to hand over Pettigrew to the authorities, the full moon rises, Lupin transforms into a werewolf and bolts off after injuring Sirius. Harry chases after him, but is surrounded by Dementors along with Black. They are saved by someone who cast a powerful stag Patronus, and we later find out that was a future version of Harry, who traveled back in time with Hermione using an ancient artifact known as the Time Turner. Harry casts the Patronus that saves him and Sirius, and then the duo helps Sirius escape on the Hippogriff Bugbeak. The final scene shows Harry receiving a new broom as a gift from Sirius. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, 2005. During Harry's fourth year, Hogwarts plays host to the Triwizard Tournament, which is a contest between three different magical schools. Harry is unwillingly and mysteriously entered in the tournament, and becomes Hogwarts' second participant after Cedric Diggory, which is an unusual occurrence that causes his friends to distance themselves from him, out of anger and jealousy that he can participate but they cannot. He competes against the schools of Beauxbatons and Durmstrang, with the assistance of the new defense against the dark arts professor, Alistair Mad-Eye Moody. After three dangerous and intense challenges, such as facing a dragon and navigating a moving maze, Harry claims the Triwizard Cup along with Cedric. But in doing so, they are teleported to a graveyard where Voldemort's followers convene. After a harrowing chain of events, Harry manages to escape, but Cedric is unfortunately killed, and Voldemort is resurrected in a ritual using Harry's blood. Moody is revealed to be Barty Crouch Jr., a Death Eater, one of Voldemort's followers, who was concealing his identity by way of the Polyjuice potion. Harry, Hermione, and Ron are shaken by the ordeal, but understand that things will now change drastically, and along with their friends, must now prepare for the inevitable battle to come. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, 2007. Harry's fifth year begins with him and his cousin Dudley being attacked by Dementors in Little Whinging, which signals to him and Dumbledore that the conflict has indeed begun. Later, he finds out that the Ministry of Magic is in denial of Lord Voldemort's return. Dumbledore reactivates the Order of the Phoenix in response, which is a secret society to counter Voldemort. Meanwhile, in order to keep their grip on the school, the Ministry appoints Dolores Umbridge as the High Inquisitor of Hogwarts. Umbridge bans teachings of defense against the dark arts, and in response, Hermione and Ron form Dumbledore's army, a secret group where Harry teaches what Umbridge forbade. Harry is also beset by disturbing and realistic nightmares. He becomes aware that Voldemort is after a prophecy, and that the battle involving the students of Hogwarts, the secret organization Order of the Phoenix, the Ministry of Magic, and the Death Eaters begins. Harry sees a vision of Sirius being tortured, and he races to the Ministry, only to find out it was a trap set by Voldemort to lure him there, where he and his friends are now facing several Death Eaters. The Order of the Phoenix arrives just in time to save the teenagers' lives, but Sirius is sadly killed during the battle. In the end, the prophecy is revealed to be that one must die at the hand of the other, meaning that either Harry or Voldemort will die by the spell of the other. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, 2009. In Harry's sixth year at Hogwarts, Lord Voldemort and his Death Eaters are increasing the fear within the Wizarding and Muggle worlds alike, and the energy throughout is dark and tense. Dumbledore persuades his old friend Horace Slughorn to return to Hogwarts as a professor, as there is a vacancy to fill now. It seems that Snape is finally teaching defense against the dark arts, while Slughorn becomes the potions master. Harry finds an old textbook with annotations by the Half-Blood Prince, due to which he achieves great success in potions class, and on top of that, the admiration of Slughorn. We later find out that Draco has been given a mission presented to him by Voldemort, one that Malfoy struggles to carry out. Meanwhile, Dumbledore and Harry secretly work together to discover how to destroy the Dark Lord once and for all. Harry learns from a drunken Slughorn that he used to teach Tom Riddle, and that Voldemort divided his soul into several fragments, creating a series of items known as Horcruxes. Harry and Dumbledore travel to a lake to destroy one of the Horcruxes, and they succeed, but Dumbledore weakens in the process. Upon their return, they find that Draco Malfoy had let in Death Eaters into the school, who are now destroying everything in their path. The film ends with the killing of Dumbledore by the hand of Severus, and Harry finding out that Snape was the Half-Blood Prince all along. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Part 1 and Part 2, 2010 and 2011. In Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Lord Voldemort gains control of the Ministry of Magic itself. Harry, Ron, and Hermione learn about the Deathly Hallows, legendary items that lead one to have mastery over death. The group infiltrates the Ministry to acquire another Horcrux in the form of a locket. A silver doe Patronus leads them to the Sword of Gryffindor, with which they then destroy the locket. They steal another Horcrux from Gringotts and travel to Hogwarts, culminating in a battle with the Death Eaters. Snape is killed by Voldemort out of paranoia, but lends Harry his memories before he dies. Harry learns that Severus was always loyal to Dumbledore, acting as a double agent since the very beginning. Harry also finds out that he himself is a Horcrux created mistakenly by Voldemort. Harry surrenders to Voldemort and dies. The defenders of Hogwarts continue to fight on in his name. Harry is resurrected, faces Voldemort, and kills him. The closing moments show Harry, Ron, and Hermione, as well as Ginny, all grown up and leading their kids onto their very first train ride to Hogwarts. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for spending your time with me. Until our next adventure, y'all stay classy.